Hey guys, welcome back. It is my last day here in Bentonville, day 3 of Outerbike. I am riding an incredibly cool Orbea Rallon. I'm the Team M build, if I'm not mistaken. This bike has kind of caught my attention in the last few months. It kind of went from something I would have never considered to ride to now I see a few people riding it and it looks really cool. You may recognize it from BKXC's videos as well. It's nice and lively.
The Rallon is Orbea's offering to the enduro world. Everything about this bike is big. 29-inch wheels, 150mm of travel rear, and 160mm of travel front, combined with 2.5-inch aggressive tires all around. Even the frame looks kind of big in a beefy, interesting way when you look at it. The head angle is slack at 65 degrees, the bottom bracket is low, and the wheelbase is long at 1,217mm. All in all, it seems pretty clear what they had in mind when they designed this bike. The question is, does it live well as an all-around bike, or is it an EWS only kind of rig?
Some fun climbing. So climbing, so far so good. It's not the best climbing bike I've ever ridden, but it's definitely on par with what you would expect from a 150 rear, 160 front bike. I didn't think it was particularly nice at managing the techy climbs though. If it's rocky and stuff like that, it's probably above average. But for steady continuous climbs like this, I'd say it's a solid average. If I close the shock, that does feel better with the shock and firm. A little bit better power delivery.
For this test ride and our last day in Bentonville, we went to Kohler Preserve. What you're seeing is the hub, a centric spot from where you can ride off this awesome structure down into a variety of trails of all styles. It's crazy to see what they've achieved here with what is not so much elevation.
Nice.
Kohler could very well be the topic of a complete video.
These are amazing. So well built.
You can find a few videos out there and they're definitely worth a watch. As I heard Jordan Byron put it, Kohler is a downhill park in all but name. And well, the fact that you have to pedal up.
Really cool fucking jumps. Nice. So fucking mellow. For me that I suck at jumping, these are unbelievable.
But this wouldn't be a good review if all we did was hit smooth jump lines that could be ridden on a hardtail. Thankfully, Kohler delivers on the variety with lots of techy and rocky riding.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Steep as That was scary. That I could have done.
The bike felt very stable at the higher speeds, and it was easy to keep a good attack position on it. As soon as things got rockier, the big wheels truly started to shine. It plowed through most everything effortlessly, and I'm sure it could have kept on going much faster than you're seeing here had I had a few days to get used to it.
Seriously chunky. This is one awesome trail. Thank you. Oh, messed up. Come on. So far, I am truly enjoying this bike. Unfortunately, the fork is set up a little bit stiff for me, so even on those big drops and rocks and shit like that, I was using about half the fork. So I'm missing out on a bit of the experience, but even despite that, I'm very happy with how the bike is behaving. I can't go back to have the fork tuned because the venue is super far away. So they'll have to wait.
One thing I really value in a bike is how intuitive it is. I personally really like when a bike is easy to ride, and I think for most of us mortals, it really matters. And this one does that spectacularly.
So, as far as sizing goes, I'm 5'11", or 182 centimeters, and this bike in the large fits me well. I have no complaints about anything in particular. One thing that I'm truly liking about it, kind of makes it stand out as a 29er for me, is the fact that I notice that it rolls much better, but I don't feel like it's a bulky bike. It still feels nimble.
What kept me away from 29ers in the past is that they were, well, clunky. The industry in general has moved beyond this, but the Rallon does particularly well in my opinion.
Nice and smooth.
If I had to put it into a few words, I'd say I forget that this is a 29er until it actually matters.
That is awesome. This is the biggest jumps I've ever cleared. If you watch my channel, you would know that I'm not a big jumper.
I attribute some of the success to how I felt riding this bike. I mentioned intuitiveness a while ago, and I think that ties into this. It just felt confidence-inspiring to me. I knew what the bike was going to do with my inputs, and confidence makes a huge difference.
That was sketchy.
A sketchy moment like that could have fazed me if I were riding something that I didn't trust.
This one was fun. The gaps are too big for me, so I'm not going to hit them, but the trail itself is great.
If you saw my Modbreaker Foxy video, I mentioned in it that I had to consciously work to keep weight over the front, which in the end messed with my confidence. While they're both awesome bikes, on this Rallon I'm going to ride better simply because I believe that I can ride better through actually trusting it.
Hell yeah. That I'm proud of. This bike is so good.
You obviously can't tell in the video, but that's a sketchy sideways off-camber rock slant with wheel catchers on both sides. The first time down, I had to stop and spot the line for a few tries, so obviously it felt really good to just get it on one go.
Big exposure. And then lots of exposure here. Nice.
The Rallon ended up being one of the most fun bikes I've demoed. I can't say I'd buy it living in Florida because the pedaling isn't spectacular, but if I lived in a mountainous area, this bike would definitely be on my short list for the future. If you're someone who's okay with not climbing as fast as possible but you love to bomb down, this bike is amazing, just as it was intended to be as an enduro bike.
So I'm starting to head back to the venue. I just wanted to wrap things up a little bit. I thoroughly enjoyed riding this bike. It kind of feels like a 27 that just rolls better, which is, I think, the ideal 29er. I had loads of fun, even though the suspension is set up a little bit stiff for me. I was kind of able to phase it out because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely loved the bike. I got to clear some jumps that I had never done, and some of those rocky sections were crazy and it was still perfectly doable. If this kind of ticks all the boxes that you're looking for in a bike, then don't doubt it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And even when you put the suspension in firm on the rear shock, it actually climbs okay.
One thing that is noteworthy is that you can customize the paint on your bike to match exactly what you want. There's a ton of options and you won't be stuck with a color combo you don't like. Orbea is the only company that I'm aware of that does this. You can even place your initials or channel name on it to really make it your own. I thought this was a really cool feature that's kind of aside from the review, but I think it's still really noteworthy.
Well guys, We're back here at Outerbike. This is the last Bentonville video. So thank you very much, Arkansas and Outerbike. I hope you found this useful and you had fun with me today. I'll see you for the next one and happy riding. Yes.
Hey, how was it?
It was amazing.
Yeah, truly awesome, huh?
Yeah.
That is large.
Yeah, thank you very much.